everybody, happy Wednesday evening live tutorial stream. How's everybody doing out there in the wilds of the internet today? Holy hell, it was an insane day at the Beading Dreams.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, we were a staff person down and my mother was here. You would think.
And we had 2 lessons.
Yeah, you would think being a staff person down and my mother being here would cancel out. But oh no. No.
You'd be very wrong.
You'd be very wrong. Hi, Corbus. I can truthfully say, though, and Heather will back me up on this, there was no murdering of anyone today. No customers were killed. No mothers were killed. And
you did disappear with your mother, and she didn't come back. But since that was the plan, I can neither confirm nor deny.
Fair. But we are here tonight for the 3-tier drop necklace tutorial followed by a live merchandise sale. I've posted exactly jack nor squat on social media today, so I have no idea how many people are going to be watching tonight. I have no idea how many people are going to be on the sale. We are doing Brando Strandos tonight on the sale, so it might be a good chance for some of you to snake some cool stuff, because there are definitely a whole lot of fun one-of-a-kinders that are going to be on stream later tonight. But of course, before I start selling things, I'm going to try and teach y'all something. So this is our project today. That's not our project today. That's utterly last week's project. Wow. Okay. So whoever sets up these streams really needs to get better at their preparation work. I don't know what department I talked to about that, but there is actually our project.
Heard they're understaffed.
Yeah. Well, yes, I've heard that the stream preparation department needs a personal assistant, and the stream preparation department personal assistant needs a personal assistant, none of whom, of course, could be paid in any way, shape, or form.
Right.
So anyway, that's our project for today. Again, that's our 3-tier drop necklace. So the way that this one goes together, and oopsie, that's still the sale configuration. You know, one of these days I'm going to be not tired as heck on a Saturday night, and I'm going to remember to put it back the way it's supposed to be before I leave. But obviously that was not Saturday. And hi, Sophia! How's the weather in Wisconsin? Is it still fucking snowing? Because I'm pretty sure it's still fucking snowing. Okay, so this is a fun one. This is a fun way, and I've done this for, okay, really, camera? You can't focus on anything? Okay, you were just resting all day, camera. You did not have the day that Heather and I had, and yet still. See, it was snowing yesterday, and this is why I don't live in Wisconsin. Is it still snowing by you, Lori? Because once again, reasons I do not live in the Northland, and Lori's even farther in the Northland than, you know, I mean, Sophia's even farther in the Northland than I would typically be. Also, my camera apparently is having rebellious moments here. Come on. Oh, look, it's focus. If only I could control my own focus just that easily. Okay, so this is a fun one, though, because it's a really great way to get to get a more sort of dense presentation, because if you're doing just a regular chain of tiers, I mean, there's only, even if you put drops on every single, you know, outward facing link of chain, you can still only get so much density. So this is a way to add some layers to the top. And I will say that after I did the sample, so my idea was to do 2 fewer stones on each layer. So I've got 7, 5, and 3, but I really think that this top layer should have 5 stones as well. So what I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to go ahead and treat this, first of all, for anybody who is out there on the stream who's not comfortable with top drilled wire wrapping. We're going to do some demonstration of top drilled wire wrapping, and then I'm going to turn it into a race, and I'm going to see if I can actually finish this project by the end of the stream. So we're going to start this as a tutorial, and then it's going to go a little bit freeform for a minute there, and then it's going to come back and be a tutorial again when we're putting on the clasp and finishing things up at the end. So for starters, let's talk about tools and supplies. Okay, so as far as tools go, this is just a really straightforward. Heather, what did you just post in the chat?
I mean, if your mother got to have speed, why couldn't I?
Oh my god, I don't think she had speed. I think she just has narcissism, and I doubt she slept. Does that equal speed? Personality disorder plus no sleep?
I mean, considering how fast she was talking.
I know, seriously. Yeah. So there's some mom stuff that might get shared on this stream later. That's actually why I'm late getting on today, is because Heather and I had to have a little mini therapy sesh before this stream, because
so we would both make it through.
Yeah, because it's been it's been a 2 days for me. It's been a 1 day for Heather, and oh my Lanta, insanity. So, tools. Wire cutters, chain nose pliers, round nose pliers. It's all you need tool-wise. There are jump rings involved in this tutorial, so if you want a second pair of chain nose, can be helpful, but is not 100% necessary. As far as supplies go, you're gonna need a decent amount of 26 gauge wire. So when you're wrapping top drilled teardrops, you need to be aware, and unfortunately the awareness of this fact usually comes as a rather unpleasant awakening, you need to be aware that the tops of the teardrops where they're drilled are fragile. So 26 and 28 gauge wire are typically going to be your best gauges of wire anytime you're wrapping teardrops, kind of regardless of the size of the hole. And it's going to take more than you think. So for this project, you're probably going to need a solid 6 feet of wire minimum, more if you plan on making any mistakes. You're going to need some chain, gold-filled chain. Since this is, so the triple bit just comes down in the front. So basically you're going to need, as far as chain goes, whatever length you want for your necklace, plus probably about 3 inches for your first drop down and 4 inches for your second drop down. So if I want a 16-inch necklace, that means I need, really? 23 inches of chain, because math is a thing that I know how to do, or knew how to do before today happened. So again, whatever length you want the necklace to be, plus 3 plus 4. You can change that depending on how, how intense you want this whole like swag thing to be. Like you can widen this out. You can just use a ton of teardrops, but then, don't forget you're gonna need a little bit more chain to attach them with. You're going to need some findings. You're gonna need jump rings, and you're gonna need about 3 4mm 20 gauge jump rings, which I have in my little boxy box here. And then you're gonna need a clasp, and I just have a spring ring and a soldered ring. That might not have been the best choice, honestly. This is not a light necklace. This is a pretty hefty necklace once you get all the teardrops on here. So I would recommend something more like a lobster claw for this necklace if you're doing it at home. And then of course you need drops, and I'm going to be using 3 different colors of drops. So I've got some kyanite drops, so that's going to be my 7. I've got some Peruvian opal drops, that's going to be my 5, and then I've got some labradorite drops, and I'm going to attempt to make that change to the design, so those are also going to be 5. So I'm going to start by cutting my chain. So once again, I need a piece. Hi, Barbara. In my sample, I used, wait, no, let go. You don't get to tag along. Amy asked what stones I used in my sample. I will answer that question, then I will get to the actual doing of the thing. So these long skinny ones are green onyx. These more blue kind of fat ones are chrysocolla, and then the ones at the top on my sample are chrysoprase. So that was what I used in my sample. Okay, so I'm going to start by cutting my chain. So once again, I'm going to cut one piece at the whatever I kind of want the base length of my necklace to be, and for me that's going to be 16 inches. And then I'm going to cut 2 more pieces, one at 3-inch, one at 4-inch. So Linda Branch wonders what size chain is best. So the only real, requirement as far as the chain goes is that you've got to have a link, hi Megan, that is big enough that your wire will fit into it. So even the daintiest of chains will pretty much work for this project. Now that being said, if you're really gonna chunk it up this big like I have, you probably want a chain with this is an oval chain that I'm using, and it's got, okay, I focused this camera. So it's got like a 4mm by 3mm link, so that's a nice size if you're gonna add this kind of weight to it. If you're gonna do a, hold on, sorry, I'm just gonna zoom in a bit. If you're gonna do a lighter necklace, meaning you're going to not, can't zoom too much further in. There we go. Oh, why are you focusing on the stupid camera? So anyway, I totally lost my train of thought there. Oh, if you're gonna make a heavy necklace, you want a chunkier chain is basically what I'm going for here. And sorry, I'm being distracted by the fact that, there we go, that's focused or focused enough. So yeah, so 3x4 chain is a good size, especially if you have trouble seeing teeny chains. It's a lot easier to work with than something that's smaller, but you really can make the call depending on what size of drops you're gonna use. So I'm also going, so I've cut my chain. I've got 16 inches, and then I've got 4 inches and 3 inches. And then I'm going to cut myself some wire. Once again, I will point out that Heather and I survived today without murdering anybody, and we deserve Thai food for that, which is on the way, by the way.
Thai or Vietnamese?
Thai, Vietnamese, yes. It's one of those restaurants that has both.
Southeast Asian.
Southeast Asian cuisine. We deserve this because we didn't kill anyone today.
Oh my.
And that was harder than you would think. So, I've cut myself about 2 feet
I'm so proud
of wire. I'm so proud of us too. I like to work off of a longer piece of wire. This is not everyone's cup of tea, so if you find that you're like getting yourself in the face and getting all tangled up in the wire, cut yourself a shorter piece. Start with a foot instead of 2 feet. So again, I'm going to do 7 of my larger drops. 4, 5, 6, 7, and then I'm going to do 2, 4, 7, and then I'm going to do 5 of my medium drops and 5 of my small drops. And once again, I might not finish this whole thing tonight, so I got 2 goals for this stream. Goal number 1 is to hopefully get some of you, Sophia, more comfortable with top drilled wire wrapping, and then goal 2 is to maybe see if I can speed race myself to the finish line and finish this project by 7:15, but we shall see. No pillage, murder, dismemberment on hump day. Okay, but Megan, you didn't have to work all day with my mother.
No, she's saying that she is praising us.
That's fair.
Allison's also lost her ability to
well,
parse.
The fact that I have the chat underneath XSplit is also not helpful.
That is fair.
So yes, now I see the punctuation, and thank you, Megan, for the accolades of the not murdering folks. Certain folks who gave one birth. How long are we supposed to be grateful for that? Just out of curiosity.
I think your window is up.
5 minutes! Oh my god! Megan, this is why you are one of my favorite people. Okay, so alright, so I've got my little layout down here. So now we're going to start wire wrapping these top drilled teardrops. So yes, this is where I was paging Sophia, because she said she's never comfortable wire wrapping top drilled teardrops. So here we go with our top drilled teardrop wire wrapping tutorial. So I'm starting with my 4-inch piece of chain, and what I'm going to do for this project is I'm going to start with my largest teardrops, and I'm going to start with my 4-inch piece of chain, and I'm going to start with the teardrop that's in the center of the chain. Now you notice that I had odd numbers of teardrops for each tier of my necklace. This makes it really easy because there's always going to be one in the middle. So the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to find the middle of this chain, which means I need a random piece of wire that I found on my work surface, and I'm just going to take the 2 ends of my chain and I'm going to put them onto my wire. So there's 1 and 2, and then just sort of bring it all together, and that's going to show you where the center is. Now sometimes the center is 1 link and sometimes the center is 2 links. I am lucky in this instance that I have 1 link. If your center turns out to be 2 links instead of 1, the solution to that is to just chop the end off. Oh, Corvus, if only. Okay, and so then I'm just going to take a piece of scrap wire and I'm going to mark that center link just by putting my wire through, giving it a little twist. That's just going to make it a little easier for me to find that, obviously, when I need it in just a minute. What's up?
Just trying to plan a bathroom break.
Well,
maybe after food comes.
I was going to say, theoretically, food is supposed to be left at the door, so.
Oh, okay.
They don't always listen to that.
Yeah.
Like, in the era of contactless delivery, it's amazing how many couriers are still like, should I leave it at the door? Yes, please.
Really okay if you did, yeah.
Okay, so if you're not comfortable with wire wrapping top drilled teardrops, if they make you cry, as Sophia implied, start with some that are bigger. Okay, the bigger it is, the easier it is to see, the easier it is to hang on to. You're going to take your 26 gauge wire, which, by the way, hi people, like my viewer count just went up like a lot. Woo! So hi everybody, happy happy Wednesday. Hope everyone is doing well wherever you are out there in the internet today, and yeah, welcome to the tutorial stream. So put your 26 gauge wire through the teardrop, and you want to make sure that you have a short side and a long side. I know these are kyanite, Megan. The kyanite is really one of my favorite stones. I think it's one of the more underappreciated stones out there because a lot of people don't actually know what it is, and when they do find out what it is, they kind of think it's like a poor man's sapphire, when it is in fact a really pretty stone of its own accord. Okay, so I've got my kyanite drop, and I've got my wire through my drop. I've got a short side and a long side, and then I'm going to take my wire, I'm going to bend it against the holes of my drop to make a triangle, and my goal here is I want the point of my triangle to be directly above the point of my teardrop. Now I'm going to take my chain nose pliers, and I'm going to grab the longer of my 2 wires, and I'm going to grab right above the point where those 2 wires cross, and then I'm just going to bend that wire straight up. So now what I've done is I've taken my wire and I've centered it over the central axis of my stone. And by the way, I'm working with a 2-foot piece of wire, so that means that this is like a really long piece of wire here. Again, you don't need to work with that long of a piece of wire. The longer the piece of wire you work with is, the less waste you're going to wind up having, but if you keep hitting yourself in the face with the wire, like, that's not productive either. So I've got a 2-foot piece, but you can definitely work off of a shorter piece. Now I'm going to take the short end of the wire, and I'm just going to wrap it around the long piece of wire, and I'm going to start right at that little bend that I made, and I'm just going to wrap nice and tightly about 2 to 2.5 times up my little stick of wire, like so. And I do want to make sure that that stays in the center. I'm going to grab my wire cutters, and I'm going to trim that wire off. And then I've got a pokey stabby end there, so I'm going to press that down. I feel like all my lights are focused like other places other than my hands, which is where they should be focused. Alright, there we go. Now, so that's phase one. So now I've created bead on a stick. Yay, bead on a stick. Now we need to make a loop with which we're going to attach this bead on a stick to the chain. So this is now where we're going to bring our round nose pliers into play. Round nose pliers are going to grab my long wire so that it's touching the top of that wrap that I just did. Okay, now I'm going to take my other hand, my non-plier hand for me, that's my left hand. It's going to go push my wire away from me, rotate. Alright, so what I did is I just rotated 1/8 of a turn, so I'm grabbing right on that little corner. Now I'm going to go back up over the top and down. So now I'm starting to make a loop on my pliers, and I'm going to loosen my pliers, rotate them out of the way so that I can finish my loop like so. And what I want here are two things. I want a 90-degree angle between this wire and this little stick of wire here. Second of all, I want this loop to be centered or mostly centered over the central axis of my bead, which it is. Now I'm going to take this loop, I'm going to attach it onto that middle link of my chain that I so conveniently marked for myself earlier. So I don't even need to take my marking wire out of that loop. I just need to take my 26 gauge wire, thread that through that center loop, pull it all the way up. You want to make sure that your loop is fully around that chain. Then you're going to grab your chain nose pliers and you're going to hold like so. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm holding across this loop with my chain nose pliers. Since I'm right-handed, the way I got this all situated is I've got my chain and extraneous bits on my right hand side, then I've got my pliers, then I've got my drop that I'm wrapping on my left hand side, and that way there's less of a chance that any of this business is going to interfere with my wrapping. Now I'm going to go ahead and wrap, and I'm going to start at the base of my loop and wrap down, and what I want to do is wrap down till I reach the end of my wire that's already there, and I'm going to trim. And then use my chain nose pliers to press that down. Ta-da! That's my top drill wire wrap. Now I do not need this center marking anymore, so I'm going to get rid of that. And this is teardrop number 1. Okay, so let's do that one more time, step by step. So I'm going to grab my 26 gauge wire again. I'm going to grab another one of my kyanites, and we're going to do this a little faster. So we're going to go through the kyanite so that I have a short side and a long side. The short side should be about 1.5 inches or so. The long side should be the entire rest of your wire. You're going to bend that wire up against the holes of your teardrop to make a triangle, and you want the point of your triangle to be directly above the point of the teardrop. And take your chain nose pliers, grab the long wire directly above the point where those two cross, and bend it straight so that now your long wire aligns with the central axis of your bead. Now you're going to take your short wire and you're going to wrap it around your long wire about 1.5 to 2.5 times. So when I'm doing this, notice I'm not using any pliers. That's a technique that works really well for me. It doesn't work great for everybody. So the problem is it's really hard to get a pliers in there. Sometimes you can kind of flip your stone forward and hold in there with the pliers, but usually I find it's easier to just hold the stone in my right hand, and then what I'm doing with my left hand is I'm just wrapping the short wire around the long wire. Now I am touching the long wire, but I'm trying really hard not to push it and bend it out of shape. So we want the long wire to essentially stay straight and aligned with the central axis of the bead, if at all possible. I'm going to trim my wire off. I'm going to press that down. I'm wearing my contacts, so I'm going to do that off camera because that's where my focal distance is right now. Alright, and now I've created, once again, bead on a stick. So now we're going to do so now we're going to do a basic wire wrap loop. So Lori had a good question. I'm wrapping the beads for the 4-inch chain, so I'm doing the largest beads. So the way that the tiering on this kind of works is the largest beads go on the longest chain, and then the medium beads go on the second chain, and then the small beads go on the top chain. So as far as what length are these actually, they're pretty big. They're about 25 millimeters long, my big ones that I'm using right now. My second size is a little shorter than that, about 20 millimeters, and then my small ones are more like 12-ish millimeters. Those are not absolutes, like you can totally play with that, depending on what floats your boat. Now we're going to do a basic wire wrap loop, which means I'm going to use my round nose pliers, and I'm going to hold right at the top of that wrap that I just made, and I'm going to push my wire away, rotate, back up over the top, rotate, underneath, like so. That makes Our Lady with a scarf. And I'm going to attach this to the chain. I will grab that question in a second, Barb. So when you're attaching beads to a chain, if you're using a regular cable chain, your links are going to be, every other one is going to be rotated 90 degrees. So you want to use the links that are all facing the same direction. And I'm going to skip one link and do the next link after that. So that's skip here. You also want to make sure that you put your bead on the same side of your link as the one you already have. My little trick for that is to just put my wire through and then fold my chain in half, pull this up, yes, Corvus, all the way up so that loop is fully around your chain, like so. Then hold across your loop like this, and then wrap down till you meet the end that's already there. So a couple of questions while I was doing that. Question 1 was from Barb, which is she has a bunch of teardrops in turquoise that are all the same size. I'm sorry, it's either my contacts or the focal in my camera is just not behaving right now. So I hope that everyone can mostly see what I'm doing. But yeah, so Barb asked, she has a bunch of turquoise drops that are the same size. Will those work for this project? Okay, so there's my second drop. We're gonna pretend that looks better there. Wire wrapped on. So yeah, can she use a bunch of teardrops that are exactly the same size? The answer to that is yes, you absolutely can. You're not gonna get quite the same effect, but it will still absolutely work. And then Corvus wants to see my long necklace. I'm not quite sure which of the long necklaces is shining and distracting her, but I'm guessing it's probably the labradorite. So this is actually labradorite chain that I sell by the foot. So it's labradorite in vermeil. And we do have still some of this available for you all if anybody wants to buy it. It's $120 a foot for the labradorite chain. But you don't have to, if anybody wants to jump on some of this, you don't have to buy a full foot. You could buy, 3 inches, well, okay, probably 6 inches, and have a really cool pair of earrings. You could use each of these individually as components on bracelets. So there's a lot of things that you can do with a chain like this that doesn't involve just, cutting 3 feet of it and throwing around your neck. And then my other shiny necklace is little pirates. But I was pretty sure it was the labradorite that was distracting Corvus. Okay, so one more demo with the top-drilled wire wrapping, and then I'm going to speed test this thing, and we're going to see how much I can get done by 7:15. Alright, so one more time, step by step. We're going to take our wire, I'm going to take the non-bended end of our wire. I'm just going to go through our teardrop, short side and long side. Bend your wire up to make your triangle. Make sure the point of your triangle is above the point of your bead. Take your chain nose pliers, grab the long wire, bend it straight up, so now your entire wire is aligned with the central axis of the bead, and wrap the short one around the long one. Hey, how's the food?
Nothing.
Okay. Trim your end off. Press your end down. And now you have made bead on a stick. Oh! That's funny, I didn't even see your comment. Well, yay. And I did specify extra veggies on your banh mi. So I hope it's extra vegetable-y. Okay, now we're going to do our basic wire wrap loop. So round nose pliers, grab right so they're touching the wrap that you already made. I'm going to go away, rotate, back up over the top, rotate, underneath. Once again, we have our lady with a scarf. Now I'm once again going to grab my chain. And so that's the link that one's on. So I need to make sure that I line everything up, and I'm going to skip that one and put it on this one here. It's okay, eat your sandwich.
There's so much work.
I know, but you should eat.
Okay.
The pupils will be okay if I just do beads instead of findings tonight. And then we're going to wrap down.
That's true. I only have 2 findings picked out.
So why don't we, let's just punt findings for tonight's sale and you eat.
Okay.
Because you know what I'm going to do between streams is stuff my face. Because I am so freaking hungry. Okay, so I've got 3 on here. Now, I'm going to see how many can I get on by 7:15. That gives me 13 minutes. So this is going to be interesting. And probably depends on if I get distracted by people in the chat. Either way, whatever I am at 7:15, I will go ahead and I will show you guys how to put the necklace together, even though I might not have all the drops on there at the time. But we're gonna see what I can do. Right? Place your bets. How many drops can Allison get on the necklace between now and 7:15? And the goal, by the way, is 17. That's how many drops I have selected for this necklace. So 17 is the goal in the next 13 minutes. That means that it needs to take me less than 60 seconds per drop to attach it. Okay, that's fair. If you are correct, you can get 10% off tonight's stream purchase. I'm down with that. But you have to hit it exactly.
Yeah.
If you want 10%.
No,
So,
over-underthing.
yeah. So 17 is the goal. How many do we think that Allison can get on this necklace by 7:15? Out of 17. And anyone who does guess that number correctly will get 10% off their entire purchase on tonight's stream, and I will stop at 7:15. Like, I'm not gonna, you know, you can trust me. I'm a person on the internet. Of course you can trust me. Isn't that the way that works? Also, if you don't trust me, trust the fact that I'm really freaking hungry and there's Thai food right over there. Or Vietnamese food in my case. But
So 1 guess per person, but potentially more than 1 winner?
yes, you can, yeah, I mean, more than 1 person can guess the same number. It's not like a pick a number between 1 and 25 thing. So Corvus bets 13, Sophia bets 10. I have 10 minutes remaining. Smee bets 11. Smee, how are things in the San Antonio? How's the new house? I I dropped my wire cutters. That's not going to help this speed test at all.
I got it, I'm on.
It's okay. I can get them.
I can give you more.
It's not like you have a bet going.
I might.
I don't see your bet.
It's in my head.
I see. Thank you.
Because I'm not purchasing things on stream tonight, so it doesn't matter if I win or not.
Fair. Corvus is trying to get Heather to rig this contest in her favor.
I am, in fact, picking up on that.
I'm surprised she didn't send winged toads with food.
I know.
Corvus, you are just awful. I love you to death, but good lord. But now Corvus has distracted me.
A little early, Corvus.
It's true, it is a little early.
Played that early, I think. Although one never knows. She is pretty fast.
Alright, well I still have 8 minutes left. So let's see. So yeah, today was an absolute insane asylum day at the Beading Dreams. We had Mom. We were down a staff person because unfortunately Carol May is not feeling well. And we had 2 lessons, one of which was very quick and one of which was not quick. What beads are we doing today on the sale? Sophia asked. I've got more rando strandos of gemstones, mostly in the medium size range. So this is not going to be a tiny shiny sale. This is going to kind of just be a medium size bead sale tonight. I've got some 8-inch strands. I've got some 16-inch strands. And we were going to do findings, but then I decided that I wanted Heather to eat instead. So we probably won't have any of the fabulous findings on tonight's stream. We will have one more stream featuring our fabulous findings trunk show. That's going to be Saturday evening stream. So everybody, what do you want to see more of findings wise before the findings trunk show goes away? So we've got toggle clasps, we've got S-hook clasps, we've got head pins in silver and vermeil. We pretty much did all of the Italian enamel, so there's not any more of that that's new. But yeah, what would y'all like to see on Saturday's Fabulous Findings trunk show sale? Just out of curiosity. Also, I appear to have lost my 3-inch piece of chain, so we're going to go ahead and cut myself another 3-inch piece of chain. There's a 3-inch piece of chain on the floor by my wire cutters. Okay, so now I'm on to my 3-inch piece of chain and my second size of beads. 6 minutes left. So let's see. I'm running out of things about which to ramble. And Corvus definitely has me distracted thinking about the food. Should not order food to arrive when I'm on stream because it is just, it's quite distracting. Slow down. Trays? Did you mean trays?
Yes.
So, what kind of findings do you want on Saturday, and how many of them would you like? One tray, 2 trays. I think I'm going to cap it at 2 trays.
Red tray, blue tray?
Red tray, blue tray, right? No. So, yeah, 1 tray or 2 trays. of findings. In addition to findings on Saturday, probably more randos, strandos. We just got a whole kind of bunch of mixed merchandise in that is new. It's going to be new to you guys, and it's new on stream. So we're going to work on that for Saturday's sale. All right, I've got 4 minutes. For anybody who is keeping track, I'm putting on my 10th drop. How was Scarborough? Jenny asked. Scarborough was fun. Actually, the weather was lovely. It was a good day. I got to do everything that I wanted to do. I had lovely companions in Mary the Librarian and Heather. And yeah, it was really good. It was quite fun.
I was super grateful for Mary's Children.
Yes. Bodice chillers, they're the bomb. 7-11, 3 minutes left. Alright, so that is bead number 10. Speed run, not speed test. Thank you, brain, for finally delivering to me the vocabulary for what I'm doing. Goodness. I'm just going to blame the lack of nutrients. I'm not going to get to 15, Sophia. I think Corvus might actually have picked the winning number, but we'll see. I got 3 more minutes. Okay, so I'm just gonna just go down this masochistic trail. Okay, so Lori made homemade French fries and then made poutine from them because she's mean like that. Who else has eaten something delicious lately? I made homemade mac and cheese with gluten-free pasta and cauliflower, in an attempt to be just a little bit healthy in the dish that I was slathering in cheese and cream sauce. And it turned out really tasty. I make my homemade mac and cheese with a lot of mustard and paprika in it, which is, I realize, not the way everybody likes theirs, but it's just one of those. It was actually a dish that my college, or not college, but my post-college roommate made. And the first time I had it, I was like, what the heck is this macaroni and cheese with mustard? This is so weird. And then, but I didn't want to tell him that I thought it tasted weird because I'm Midwestern and we don't do that. So I just ate it, and then he made it again because, you know, I ate it, and eventually I finally realized that it was the best mac and cheese ever on the planet. And now that's, I mean, obviously I will make myself some good old box mac and cheese. The gluten-free box mac and cheese costs way more than regular box mac and cheese, but yeah, it's gotten so that if I'm going to make myself, like if I'm actually gonna go to the effort of making like a bechamel and you know, baking it and all of that stuff, I will totally make the version with the mustard because it is just so freaking good. Well, and now, thanks to Lori, what I really want to do is I want to take that bechamel from the mac and cheese, and I want to make cheese fries with it. Okay, so it's 7:15. My computer clock just ticked over 7, 11, 12. Corvus wins 13. Woo! So, what have I done here whilst thinking about food and bantering with the internet? All right, so I've got 7 of my large drops on my 4-inch chain that I've wire wrapped on. I've got 5 of my medium drops that I've wire wrapped onto my 3-inch chain, and then ideally, if I, you know, had managed to do my speed run appropriately, I would have 5 small drops wrapped onto my 16-inch chain. Okay, so your last set of drops gets wrapped onto the actual chain that is your necklace length, starting at the middle, going out to either side. So what I'm going to have to do when I'm putting this all together is I'm just going to have to count out, you know, okay, so I'm going to skip that one. So that's, actually, I think these I would put this close together. So that's 1, 2, just 2. Math is hard. Now I'm going to skip one then. 1, 2, and then I'll attach on the next link. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do that count again for y'all. But I'm going to go ahead and grab my jump ring first. So, okay, when you're using jump rings to attach chain to other pieces of chain, you need to make sure, number 1, that you are using a jump ring that is appropriately heavy duty for what you're trying to do. So I've got a 20 gauge jump ring here. You need to make sure that you're using a jump ring that is big enough to let all of your chains move, but small enough that it's going to give you maximum strength for its size, and you need to make sure that you close it correctly. So I've opened my jump ring. This is where, like I said, 2 pairs of chain nose are going to be helpful. Twist your jump ring open, take your long chain, drop it on your jump ring, just the very end link, take your medium chain, drop it on your jump ring. Then, again, you're going to take your necklace chain, and I'm going to, so if I had all my teardrops on, I go 2 links to the outside, but of course I don't. So I have to figure out where they would be. So that's 1 there, 1 there, and then that's where I'm going to attach my jump ring. So is that unclear? Like, does anybody have any questions about that, since I didn't actually successfully add those 5 drops on there? Like, do I need to explain that better for anyone, I guess is what I'm asking. Now I'm going to do the other side. Okay, so here we have this. Now we're going to grab our second jump ring, take 1 pliers there, 1 pliers there, twist it open, and then I'm going to do the same thing. So it can get a little kind of twisted up in here, so just make sure that you're sorting it out, and you want your, goodness, stop it. Really? Apparently. My contacts are not playing nice tonight. And the chain is also not playing nice. Okay, long chain on your jump ring. Then medium chain. On your jump ring, and then once again we're going to attach that at the corresponding spot on the opposite side of your necklace chain. So once again, if I had all my teardrops on there, I'd have 1 there, 1 there, and then my chain gets attached there. And there you go. That is your 3-tier chain drop necklace. So once again, this is going to look obviously much better when it's all filled in with drops. And then last thing I need to do is put on the clasp. I am going to go ahead and do that with a jump ring as well. And oh, are these the dumb ones? No, they're not. Okay. So the cool thing about these little spring ring clasps is most of them do open. So I'm just going to open that up and drop that on my chain. Thanks, Megan. Drop it on my chain, and then again, make sure you close it completely. This is why open connections get a bad reputation, is people don't close them. So make sure that it's closed completely. And then on the other side is going to be a soldered ring. So I'm going to open up a jump ring, attach that to my soldered ring, and then attach that to my chain, and then close it up nice and tight. Alright, and you know what that means? It means it's time for Allison to go eat Vietnamese food. So thank you so much for hanging out with us for our 3-tier drop necklace, which did turn out very nice. I do like the beads that I chose. Coincidentally, it matches my shirt. So, yay! Hi, Lee. Alright, so thank you all so much for hanging out with us on the Beading Dreams live tutorial stream this Wednesday evening. We are nothing on the Beading Dreams stream if not schmancy. Sometimes we're fancy and schmancy, sometimes we only have energy to be one, in which case we would definitely pick schmancy. So, I'm Allison from Beading Dreams in Dallas, Texas. We are an actual brick and mortar retail bead store. You know what that means? We sell beads. You know what that also means? We're going to be on stream in just half an hour selling beads to you. I've got fun rando strandos and other cool stuff for you tonight. So, give me 30 minutes to shove some food in my face and we will be back on this channel, twitch.tv/beadingdream at around, I'm going to shoot for around 7:45. With rando strandos and other cool stuff. So everyone have a great night. If you're going to join us for the sale, go grab a snack. Lord knows I'm going to. Make yourself a cocktail, grab some hydration. Catch us back on this channel, twitch.tv/beadingdream in about half an hour if we're not going to see you for the sale. Thanks so much for hanging out with us for the tutorial. I can't tell you how much I appreciate each and every one of you. And don't forget, we do this 5 times a week. We stream Wednesday through Saturday live at 6 p.m. Central Time with complimentary tutorials plus Thursdays at noon. That means my next tutorial is going to be tomorrow at noon. I'm going to be doing not that one. That's Saturday's tutorial. I'm doing something tomorrow. I have no idea what it is. But it's going to be something cool. Oh, I'm doing a hammered cuff. Hammered and stamped cuff. Yes, I just put the totally wrong picture up. So anyway, we'll see y'all back on this channel, twitch.tv/beadingdream, either in 30 minutes for the sale or maybe tomorrow at noon. Tomorrow at 6 p.m. is Torch Thursday. That means you get to see me light things on fire. Always a good time. So yeah, hopefully we'll see you back on the Beading Dreams stream very soon. Bye.
Up to bus stop station with pissed off eyes glossed with earlier conversations, and the consequence of your desperation is the people on the night bus have to listen to you. And all I'm saying is, how can you look at yourself in the window pane without wanting to hit yourself? With your fist descends through the condensation. All this over a kiss. You weren't there, so why are you pressed by this? Now it's turning 3 in the morning. The bouncers put you on his third warning.